Welcome, grammar students. Welcome to Lesson 22, Trunks and Clauses. In this lesson, we will look at the difference between a trunk and a clause. And we will take a quick look at the three types of clauses that we'll study in the next 3 lessons. In the last lesson, we looked at how to use yes-no questions to find out if we have a trunk. A trunk is a group of words that can be made into a yes-no question without any words left over. Let's look at an example from Lesson 21 again. I am going to bed because I am tired. Because I am tired is a clause. So what is a clause? A clause adds more information to a trunk. A clause looks like a trunk, but it has a clause word at the front. A clause word introduces a clause and tells you how the clause is related to the trunk. Because is a clause word. A trunk says, I'm independent. I can stand by myself. But a clause says, I depend on a trunk to help me stand. A clause like because I am tired needs a trunk to relate to. Because I am tired can't stand alone. Alone, a clause is called a fragment. I'm going to bed because I'm tired. Let's look at the whole sentence with a trunk and clause together. Where am I going? I'm going to bed. Why am I going to bed? I'm going to bed because I am tired. The clause relates to the trunk and needs to be with it in the same sentence. Let's mark all of the words in the sentence. I is the subject, am is the X word, and going is the main verb. The answer to where is a prepositional phrase, to bed. The question why is answered by a clause. The clause word is because. Then come the subject and X word of the clause. Our example is called a shifter clause. It's called a shifter because it can shift or move from one end of the sentence to the other. Shifter clauses give information about the entire trunk, so they can shift from the front of the sentence to the end. Because I am tired is a shifter clause because it can shift from the end of the sentence to the front of the sentence. Listen to the pronunciation. I am going to bed because I am tired. Because I am tired, I am going to bed. When a clause is at the beginning of the sentence, separate it from the trunk with a comma. Describer clauses describe something in the trunk. Usually the word before the clause. Describer clauses give information about one word in the trunk. In this example, the trunk is, the house was in a small town. Where Jen grew up is a describer clause. It describes house. Where is the clause word. Completer clauses. Completer clauses complete the idea of the trunk. Look at this example. She knows. Is it a trunk? The hidden X word does comes out. Knows becomes its base form, know. Does she know is a good yes-no question. She knows is a trunk, but you want more information. We need a completer clause. She knows that the exam has been canceled. The trunk is she knows. The clause word is that, and the whole clause is that the exam has been canceled. In review, a clause adds information to a trunk. A clause is just a trunk with a clause word in front. A clause word relates the clause to the trunk. A clause depends on its trunk. It can't stand alone. A clause alone is called a fragment. We will look at 3 types of clauses: shifter clauses, describer clauses, and completer clauses. What should you do next? Read Lesson 22, do the exercises, and take the quiz. Make sure that you know the difference between a trunk and a clause. Watch out for fragments in your writing.